Today we talk about life sciences, biosciences programs offered by German universities. Here are our guests. I will be introducing all of them individually in a second. Before that, I want to remind you also to give people time to join. I want to remind you that the German University is behind of today's session. This is a database where you can find programs that are offered in Germany. This could be fully English taught programs, this could be partially and English taught programs, and this could be also German programs. The study finder is very user friendly. We are always trying to make it more efficient for you to search for programs. So there are more than 3,800 English with English component programs offered in Germany. So to make this decision, you need to narrow down the search and so on and so forth. Therefore, you have lots of filters in this regard. I will not be talking about details about Study Finder today. Usually I do, but you will receive my presentation where you can see why the Study Finder is worth your attention when browsing, for example, programs in life sciences. You can also check out our articles in case today there are questions about 𝘈𝘕𝑖𝑠T or something similar. I will be also sharing those articles. Please check them out because they have concrete answers to your questions. And the articles are also translated to different languages, so you can also read them in your native one if you want. And of course, to stay connected, we have webinars. The webinars are interactive. We have two groups of broader and subject webinars. In broader webinars, we talk about topics like 𝘈𝘕𝑖𝑠T, scholarship, visa. The next one is about visa, for example, when my colleague Oliver is presenting like who needs visa, what should be done, and then we also have a Q&A there as well. And then subject webinars, where luckily we always have guest speakers from the universities, and they take their time to present and even additionally answer your questions. So we're always very thankful, and I will also thank them on your behalf, dear attendees, because in case you are already in the application process or considering to apply, it's a great chance to already get to know people directly. And this is our team. We are based in Hamburg, Germany, and we are counseling in different languages, and we are always happy to share our insights of how it feels studying and living in Germany. Now, with further ado, let's go to the business, because we need to listen to Dr. Christina Wütz, who will be talking about cardiovascular science. For all programs, you will have a short outlook of the program. Very important application deadline, take into account. I will also post it in the notes or in the chat, and the location. But I don't.
So welcome from my side, and I will talk today about our master's program Cardiovascular Science in Göttingen, and we call it Study the Heart in the Heart of Germany. So why? This is because, as you all know, Germany is quite in the middle of Europe. And in fact, Göttingen is quite in the middle of Germany, and it's literally 10 kilometers from the center of Germany. So of course, that's why we chosen this title. Göttingen itself is, as I said, located in the heart of Germany. It's located in the south of the federal state called Lower Saxony. And it's the sixth biggest city in Lower Saxony, and it's a quite typical university city with around 125,000 inhabitants, and round about over 20% of them are students. And Göttingen is quite known for its history in science and research. And when you receive Göttingen via train in the main station, you can find it right in the left on the bottom of the picture. You will be welcomed with the sentence "Göttingen, Stadt die Wissenschaft," which means more or less Göttingen, city that creates and makes science. So the university itself was funded around 1732, and today consists of 13 faculties from natural sciences, humanities, social sciences, and also from medicine. Right now we have around 28,000 students in 213 degree programs, from bachelor's and master's up to PhD programs. The fact that we have round about 45 Nobel laureates within the last 100 years creates a bit the so-called Göttingen Nobel miracle. And University Göttingen is until today one of the best universities in Germany. We also have the so-called Göttingen campus with 10 members, so the university itself and the University Medical Center, the German Primate Center, several Max Planck institutes, and so on. And we also have 14 associated members on this campus like Sartorius and Volkswagen. The University Medical Center itself has several research foci. So one of them is cardiovascular science, which means that we are one of the bases of the so-called 𝘱𝘱𝘵𝘗. We have a research council about cardiovascular sciences, and we also have the so-called Heart Center Göttingen, and a research training group focusing on heart and brain diseases. And of course, we have a master's program on cardiovascular sciences to build up more or less a basis for all these programs who are focusing on PhD students. And the master's program is focusing on the basis for all of those. Now some facts about our program. So this is a full-time 2-year or 4-semester program with 120 ECTS. The whole program is entirely taught in English, and it's a complete scientific and research-based program, which means that we don't have any patient contact. The program starts once per year, every winter semester, normally in the first week of October, and we are right in the middle or nearly close to the end of the application phase, which leads normally from the 1st of December until the end of April for all applicants, which means that there is no other deadline for international students or for German students. We teach in really small cohorts, which means that we only accept 25 students per year. And we are really, really international. So we have around about 80% international students every year. And we have no tuition fees. You have also only to pay around about 400 euro per semester semester fee, which also includes, for example, public transport. Our master's program is built up on 3 elements. So the first is, of course, the lectures where you learn all the theoretical stuff that you need to know. We also have seminars. We offer talks from people from all over the world. We have practical parts within the modules and also elective courses where you can choose whatever you want, or, for example, English courses or whatever. And what is quite typical for our program, that we have so-called lab rotations. Lab rotations are practical parts within the program, which leads, so we have 3 lab rotations, each of them for 8 weeks, which means that you go to a lab, to a research group, and you are part of this group. You can work with them and maybe also on your own small project, and you have a one-to-one supervision. So what is the structure of the program? So you start in the first semester, as I said, normally in October, and we start with this module called Cardiovascular Basics 1. So this consists of this typical basics on that topic, like anatomy, physiology, endocrinology, embryology, and everything around the heart and also the nervous system. And after that, you will start right away with your first lab rotation. You are completely free to choose whatever you want, whatever lab you want, whatever topic you are interested in. And after that, so roundabout in the beginning of February, you start with the second module called Cardiovascular Basics 2, which is a bit more cell-based. So we talk about cell biology. We have a big part in biophysics and biochemistry, epigenetics, and signal transduction. And after that, there will be the second lab rotation, which you can also, as I said, choose whatever you want, whatever you are interested in. before we start roundabout in July with the third module, which is more clinical based. So it's about cardiovascular diseases and the therapy of these diseases, which means you will get a bigger insight in cardiovascular imaging, in pharmacology, and also in interventional therapies and cardiovascular surgery. The third semester starts with another theoretical module, which is now a bit more in industry, which is a bit more in scientific aspects and also about design and management of clinical trials, about state-of-the-art research methods, which are normally done, for example, at the UMG, and also a bit about research and industry. After that, you can start right away with your third lab rotation, and this one can be combined with the master thesis, which will be the whole fourth semester. So it's a 6-month master thesis where you will work on your own research project in a research group you choose by yourself. Within the second and the fourth semester, there are also other modules like our modern topics in CVS and clinical research, where you can visit several talks and things all about CVS. And you have also time to do your elective modules. You have to go for 13 credits in these fourth semesters. And as I said, you are completely free of choice, whatever you are interested in from the whole catalog of the university. So there are, in the end, 4 steps to your career in a program that is still unique in Germany. So the first step is the online registration. So you can now go to our website and go to the application page, and you will get your personal application number just after typing your email address and your password. And so you can apply directly via our website, via My German University. There you will find the link, or you can just Google CVS and Göttingen to find us. This should be done between now and the end of April, as I said. And the second step after your registration is that you will be asked to fill some other information about your former studies and to upload the required documents. This can be done in English or in German. So what we need from you is a signed application form. This will be provided during the process in the beginning. We need your last transcript of records from your bachelor's, which should show a minimum of 150 ECTS. Your final degree, if possible, and if you still have it. An English certificate, which should be not older than 2 years. Your CV, and a short letter of motivation of maximum 1,000 words. Important to know is that the final degree and your English certificate can be submitted later until the end of September in case that you are admitted for the program. The third step is an entry test. So after you uploaded the whole stuff and after your application is complete, you will be asked for an entry test. This will be done in the first or second week of May this year. And so the topics in this test will be around everything basics in natural sciences, a bit of math, a bit of lab works, and important to know is that this test can only be started once. And your last step is an interview with the admission panel. So these will take place normally between the end of May and June. And so we receive around 700 to 800 applications every year, and we will invite the 10%, the best 10% out of the application documents and the test to the interview. This interview will be around 20 minutes with the 2 professors, with the student from an older cohort, and with the coordination office, and will be around about your former studies, what you've done in your bachelor's, and about your motivation. And everything that I've told you now can be also found on our website in the so-called FAQ section. So, job perspectives after finishing our master's program. Of course, we qualify most of our students for a PhD. no matter if in academia or in industry. Some of our students also join research and scientific labs, also in academia and industry, and with hands-on lab work. And of course, you can also join, for example, clinical trials. You might now ask yourself, so would that be maybe the right program for me? And I can say definitely no. If you have a bachelor, for example, in midwifery, nursing, or physiotherapy, or any program that is not related to natural and life sciences and to lab work in that stuff. If you are an MD with the dream to become a cardiologist, because as I said, our program is a research program, and becoming a cardiologist and with having no patient contact is maybe not what an MD is looking for. If you're absolutely not interested in any kind of lab work, wet lab work, so because as I said, our program has a really big amount of lab work, and if your English is not sufficient in the end. But of course, yes, it could be maybe your program if you have completed a bachelor's in natural life or health sciences, or something that is comparable to that. If you are interested to study in Germany in a really international environment, if you are interested in scientific lab work and in scientific and medical issues, and if you have sufficient knowledge of English. So, and then we are really looking forward to your application. So I'm happy to take questions now, and if there are questions coming up later on, so feel free to email us. Thank you.
Great. Thank you so much, Dr. Wurz, for the presentation, the details you provided. Dear attendees, a few seconds of your attention in chat. As Dr. Wurz mentioned, the online application form is there, as well as a frequently asked questions section, and the email for cardiovascular science program is also there, and of course the program email itself. All right, one more update is about the fourth presentation. I think we will have only 3 today because I didn't get a promising email from the other speaker. If it's rescheduled, I will let you, if it will be rescheduled, I will inform you about this as well. Now we go to Osnabrück, where there is another interesting master, Nanosciences, Materials, Moleculars, and Cells program. And we have Professor Dr. 𝘱𝘢𝘳𝘵 talking about it, and he also has a backup team, probably also helping in Q&A. The location and the facts are again on the slide.
Welcome from my side. I'm 𝘱𝘢𝘳𝘵 from Osnabrück University. We designed a master program, Nanoscience, Materials, Molecules, and Cells. And I would like to focus here on giving you the spirit to get you an idea of whether this is a program that is something for you. So if you're coming from life science, and I think we have a life science audience here, then of course there are many different topics in life science. But if we think about where discovery and innovations in life science come from, this is a lot of methodology. And I have just listed here many different types of methodologies and grouped them in different kind of classes just to give you a feeling how much methodology is really surrounding us in the life science field. And what is behind life science? And actually, there are quite a few Nobel Prizes here if you think about these methodologies. And typically, these Nobel Prizes are actually given in physics and chemistry. So essentially, physics and chemistry and method development in physics and chemistry is extremely important for discovery, for progress, for pushing the boundaries in life sciences. So this is why we in Osnabrück thought about designing an interdisciplinary master program where at this kind of early stage of your career, you can already combine and integrate natural sciences. And we feel that this was also driven by research. If you do a master program, this essentially qualifies you for research, and it's a very much research-oriented master program that we are offering here. And this is why I a little bit want to go into the environment here, because we have an interdisciplinary environment by tradition, so that in biology, which is focused on molecular cell biology and organismic cell biology, we already had for a long time strong contacts to the topic of nanomaterials, nanomaterial development, and application by chemistry and physics. And something like 10 years ago, or now even 15 years ago, we decided to build a platform, this is the Center of Cellular Nanoanalytics, where we really allow these different sciences to integrate into a building and into a research center, the Center of Cellular Nanoanalytics. And I think this is a very strong driving point of this of our master program. So meanwhile, we have a research building since 2018, and this research building is really designed for research, for you as master students and upcoming PhD students to do interdisciplinary research in laboratories that are designed for this. And I would say a surprising cutting edge infrastructure in microscopy, light and electron microscopy, in mass spectrometry, and also in method development. So this platform, this cellular nanoanalytics platform, is really a platform for pushing method development, as I pointed out in the beginning, that is so important. And actually, we also have a graduate school, a graduate program, several graduate programs, but this one graduate program that is really also dedicated to integrate biology, chemistry, and physics into this research training group, that nanomaterials at biomembranes. So how do we design our master program? So we want to integrate chemistry, physics, and biology and life sciences, and we want you to qualify at the interfaces of these natural sciences. So so I just give some idea of what topics are at these interfaces: chemical biology, synthetic biology, biomaterials, nanomaterials, photonics, nanoelectronics, biophysics, structural biology, systems biology. And of course, you cannot do all of this as an individual. And this is exactly what we want to offer in our master program, is that you can choose on the individual basis, on the basis of your background, and on the basis of what courses you choose, so that you qualify at one of these interfaces, or you come up with more ideas. So it's your plan, it's your decision where to qualify, in which direction to go. And I think that's the essence of interdisciplinary science, that's way more open than just a classic master program. Of course, you need to have a bachelor. You start a bachelor in one of these in one of these natural sciences. So this is why the whole system is designed that you have a focus elective area, and this is typically your background. So if you study biology, say you will start with life science as your focus elective area, and then you will, in addition, choose topics from the interdisciplinary elective area, which will be, in this case, if you come with biology, it will be chemistry and physics. But you can also join the program as a chemist or a physicist, and then choose the elective area subjects, the interdisciplinary elective area subject correspondingly. So the structure of the program is again, it's 2 years, 4 semesters, and based on your focus elective area and the interdisciplinary elective area, you choose corresponding courses, something like around 35 points from the master modules in the focus elective areas, and the remaining, so we need to have in total 60 points in the interdisciplinary elective area. And this will be typically modules at our university are always modules that comprise lectures, seminars, and practicals. So you will have practicals within the modules. And then the second year will be focused on preparing for your master thesis. So which means you start with research courses, which are essentially internships. And at the same time, you are, of course, also qualifying yourself in scientific lectures. So you will have 1 semester preparing you for your master's thesis, and then the 4 semesters then implementing the master's thesis. So you see, you have these kind of different parts, the focus elective area and the interdisciplinary elective area. So you need also, of course, to bring some know-how, some expertise in these fields. Overall, of course, you can only be admitted with a bachelor degree in either biology or life science, chemistry, and physics, and you need to have something like AD/ECTS in courses that are related to these topics. And then you need an additional 30 ECTS points in these other topics. Yeah, if you start with biology, these will be topics, chemistry and physics. And this needs to be documented in your transcript of records. Of course, it's an interdisciplinary course, so it's English is the language, so you need basic or advanced skills in English language. And it will be important, it's research-oriented, practical research-oriented, so you will need practical expertise. And let's say all the surrounding information you will get through our websites, so where you can find when to apply and so on. So this is kind of standard application procedure at our university. And I would like to mention that 𝘱𝘢𝘕𝘂𝘕𝘂𝘕𝘂𝘕𝘂𝘕𝑚, who will also be present for the Q&A today, is the contact person, and he's really very helpful in giving all the information. And yeah, I'm happy to take questions. I will also join later for the question session. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Professor. I will just quickly post the link, the program or info email also in chat. Great. They're all also program has 2 intakes, so you have 2 deadlines, and in case you don't have all the required documents right now, you can you still have time, but the first deadline 15th of June, so don't forget about it. Thank you very much, Professor, once again, and already Stefan for taking questions. I saw you already answered some of them in Q&A. Wonderful. Unfortunately, we won't hear presentation from Charité Universitätsmedizin Berlin, but luckily and thankfully, we have Professor Dr. Christoph Borner from University of Freiburg, who will be talking about a Master in Science Biomedical Sciences and also the options that...
Welcome to my presentation. I'm going to present to you the International Master of Science in Biomedical Sciences, which is a double master degree. So you get 2 master degrees from 2 universities. One is the University of Freiburg, which is in the south of Germany, at the French-Swiss border. And the other university is from the capital of Argentina, from Buenos Aires, which means, because it's a double degree, you do studies in Buenos Aires and you do studies in Freiburg. The master program exists since 2008. Since 2018, it is a double degree, and our goal is to form biomedical scientists which bring experience from bench to bedside. So, which means most of the program has theoretical and practical parts in biomedicine, but no clinical work. So it's all research based. We have students from all over the world, of course, mainly Argentina and Germany, but about 20 students per year. There are a good half of them that come from all different continents all around the world. This is the structure of the program. So as I said, it provides 2 master titles. It's a non-consecutive master study, which means that You cannot directly start the master after your bachelor. You first need to show us a minimal 1 year of work experience, so non-consecutive. In Freiburg, it's at the medical faculty. In Buenos Aires, it's at the Faculty of Pharmacy and Biochemistry and also medicine. What is the charm of it is that apart from the specific biomedical courses, it also involves 1 month of language course on both sides, which means you learn German and Spanish. And of course, it's a classical master program with 120 credit points. You enter with a bachelor degree. You have to have a good to excellent grades. You have to have a B2 English certificate that is from a recent exam. And as I said, you need to show 1 year work experience. The application deadline is always end of September. You start when you're selected in Buenos Aires on the 1st of March. So it just started this month, where you go through 8 months of training, mainly theoretical training, also a little bit practical training. And then you switch to Freiburg for another 8 months. That also includes 2 months of lab rotation. Afterwards, you get a diploma of advanced studies. This is just an additional diploma that has nothing to do with the master, but you get an additional certificate from the University of Freiburg. And then you enter your master thesis, which is for another 8 months. The master thesis you can do either in Freiburg or in Buenos Aires. You will then defend your master thesis, again, either in Buenos Aires or in Freiburg, and then you get your master certificate, from which you can then go to a job or a PhD. We also have a binational PhD program, which is a cooperation between the 2 universities. There you can enter only if you do it in a lab that has a collaboration between the research groups between the universities. Additional information that is important for you, I will just tell it later. We are a tuition master study program, so you have to pay tuition fees, but we manage every year to get DAD stipends, not for everybody, but to a good 60 to 70% of the people. These are stipends that you get as surplus stipends in Buenos Aires or as Deutschland stipends in Freiburg. And we're also supported by the 𝘗𝘪𝘵𝘳𝘍𝘐𝑢𝑟𝑒𝑐𝑡𝑢𝑟. This is a German Argentinian university center that also gives us funding for students. During your master thesis, you also, especially in Freiburg, you get an additional Hiwi contract of 520, now it's 556 euro per month to support you during that phase. So as I said, our master study is a tuition fee study program. For international students, we charge 900 euro per month and 450 per month during the master module. We have reduced fees for Argentinian and German graduates, and we have even reduced fees, further reduced fees for those who have a bachelor degree from UBA or from Freiburg. So if you are Argentinian, and especially from Buenos Aires, this is a very attractive program, but it's also very attractive, of course, for others all around the world. As I said, we provide to a good number of students financial support in the form of surplus fellowships, Deutschland stipendiums, which also includes a flight reimbursement, as well as these stipends from the German Argentinian Center. The program looks as this. So in Buenos Aires, you go through 8 modules that include biophysics, physiology, pharmacology, virology, neurobiology, pathology, clinical medicine. So you see it's quite biomedical. And you also learn Spanish. In Freiburg, then you continue. What is particular in Freiburg, you start actually in November with a scientific communication course for 1 week. You also have an intercultural training. You have an introduction into lab work in order to get everybody on the same level. You have a course in good scientific practice and also a humor workshop. And then you go through 4 modules, which are depicted here, which are most of them mainly practical. So here you really have practical lab experience work. And it's very important, as we heard it from the cardiology master program just before, that you're really interested, you come with lab experience, but you're also interested in lab experience. Otherwise, there's no sense to apply for this program. I said that you learn German in Freiburg, first an intense course for 1 month, and then throughout the 8 months, every week, an advanced German language course. We also have electives. So what I just shown you are mandatory courses, but you can also choose courses which are quite interesting and actual and very modern for your future career, which is gene editing, the famous CRISPR method, flow cytometry and microscopy, artificial intelligence and machine learning, which becomes more and more important. Then we have a course in cardiology and in human cornea, and also a ChatGPT course. During the master thesis, or for the master thesis, you choose a research project, and most of the students actually stay in Freiburg. Some of them go back to Buenos Aires. There are many different research projects that you can choose in all different fields, from immunology, neurobiology, oncology. It's up to you. And the supervisor will, of course, support you during this 8 months. I also said that you will get a little salary during that time, but you will also be mentored, and you will be mentored by the coordination by us of the program, in that during the master thesis, you will have to present 3 times your progress, and we will see whether you can actually, whether you're already good in presenting, and whether your master thesis with regard to data progresses timely. So this will help you actually to finish the master thesis in time. You will write a master thesis example, and then you will also defend your master thesis in the end. So I already mentioned a little bit the supervision. So during the master thesis, experimental supervision and rehearsals. You will also have to submit a thesis plan and a thesis draft. And in the end, you will also be mentored for your career. We have career mentoring courses so that you see the possibilities you have after the master for a PhD or industry job. During the modules, we ask you to evaluate each module so that we can basically get feedbacks and can improve on the program. We have mentoring regarding the choice of your lab research and thesis project, because you will not know all the research projects in Freiburg, so we will help you, and you will have regular meetings with the program director, and if you have some personal issues, of course you will be supported also with visa, finances, career choices, housing, and so forth. We have yearly events to promote our program, and you may also participate depending on where you are. So we have an annual meeting, a symposium in Buenos Aires and in Freiburg with guest speakers that also involve alumni. So you will meet actually the alumni of the program, which can tell you the points of the program that helped her in their career. Master thesis projects will be presented, and we also have these Diploma of Advanced Studies in Freiburg, where you get an additional certificate. The master degree will be given, or the certificates will be given at the graduation ceremony, and we have the traditional ceremony with gowns and hats. At UBA, we have also a symposium every year. We usually invite a Nobel laureate from Germany to give a Nobel lecture. We'll also get an honorary doctorate. And also there we have master thesis defenses and social events. The success rate of our program is, so far, since 2008, we have almost 180 master certificates. Since 2018, it's 68 double degrees, or since 2020, sorry. 25% of the graduates get a job in industry, university, or the public or the publishing sector, so they are not interested necessarily in a PhD, but 75% graduates start a PhD in Germany, Argentina, or elsewhere. This is it. Thank you very much for your participation. These are our sponsors. I already mentioned the 𝘗𝘳𝘐. We have a foundation that supports us, the 𝘗𝘀𝘵𝘪𝘱 Foundation, and of course the DAD with stipends. And here is our website, biomedmaster.org, where you find all the information about the program, as well as the application forms, which of course is done online. And here is the PhD program, which I don't want to mention any further, just to tell you that we have every year 4 doctoral researchers that can travel to the partner universities and work on their PhD. So we have an exchange program that is, as I said, mainly for the students that have gone through our program and have a collaboration between the 2 universities. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Professor Bordner, for the details you provided. Actually, there was a question about PhD. Thank you for still mentioning it. Wonderful. Now let us take the question, dear guests. If you wish, we could still voice some of the questions that were already answered, but first let's tackle the ones that were not taken yet. First, it was about the GPA. So let me ask all of you about the GPA requirement and how strict you are with it. So let's start with Dr. Wüth. Could you tell us what's the GPA for the program?
So it's a 2.4 from the German system. It's as a minimum.
As a minimum. And meanwhile, I will also put the link, because in German system it's different. If you are studying in the US, the 4 is the best, but in Germany, don't send a transcript with 4 GPA. Because here the best is 1.0. I put the calculators in chat. There are 2 from TUM and Fintiba. You can always see approximately where your GPA is. Professor Pieler, do you want to take this question as well regarding the minimum GPA?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's this kind of general rule in Germany, but we don't have anything on top, so it's similar. Yeah. And
all right.
And I'm not totally sure how this is then being calculated for foreign students exactly. So that's always, at least I don't know how it works in other universities, but typically we just get kind of the original marks from the other universities, and somehow have to translate this. So yeah, but as I said, we don't have a special cutoff there.
For the program from Osnabrück, dear attendees, I just checked. You need to have not a specific GPA, but AT ECTS in life science, biology, chemistry, which also was mentioned. So in this case, you need ECTS calculator, which I will also post in chat because there is also one. Professor Bordner, do you have a GPA?
Yes, our requirement is a minimum of 2.7, which is the German grade that you need, or everything that is higher, so 3.0 so is not accepted.
Yeah. The better GPA you have, the better chances of being accepted, because you see how many applications they have, and then they need to also find the best suitable students. Professor Bordner, the question for you: are we asked to complete 2 separate research projects, theses at each university, or is it just a joint project?
No, it's a joint project. So basically the master thesis is either done in Freiburg or in Buenos Aires, and you will then just have, so the major work, the lab work is done at either university, but you will of course have a co-director from the other university who just mentors you, who just gives you advice, and you meet from time to time. But the lab work you do only in one lab for 8 months. And usually you actually continue. I said that after the 8 or the 5 modules in Freiburg, you do a 2-month lab rotation where you rotate between 2 or 3 labs, and then you choose one lab for the master thesis. So you get kind of acquainted and familiar with the lab you would like to do the master thesis.
Thank you. There was a question to Dr. Wutz about the background knowledge in biology and if there are any additional things people need to do. Since you are accepting degrees, like not only the ones with the biology background, do you have any examples when people have to do any additional thing, or the degrees that are accepted are already enough and people can directly start? You don't have any extra courses.
So they don't have to take any extra courses beforehand. So the program is built up that we can manage to bring everything or everyone with so many different, so we have so many applicants coming from so different backgrounds. So the program is built up that everyone can follow on this, so there's no need to start with anything beforehand. As long as the people have a natural or life science background. So this should be enough.
Thank you. For Osnabrück, let's take the same question. When people have the diploma or the bachelor background in the discipline that you're accepting, natural and life sciences, they don't need extra preparation unless they have the knowledge from the bachelor's, right?
No, they actually, also because we don't have these courses in English, either you are accepted or not.
Great.
Can I just add something?
Sure, of course.
I'm happy because we were talking about the requirements to enter the program. I'm happy that Christina Wutz talked about, you know, what is, if you join the program, what you should not have, because it's the same with us. So don't apply when you have a bachelor in nursery, midwifery, because you don't have the knowledge that you need for our program. Maybe with few exceptions, but usually you don't have the practical lab work or even the basic knowledge of biochemistry, molecular biology. However, we accept people from medicine if they have really done practical lab work. So we will see if they have some lab experience. We accept them if they want to actually do now a master program that is more focused on research.
Thank you. Let's stay with you, Professor Werner. The question about PhD. Is there a direct pathway from the master's to the binational PhD program, or do students need to apply separately?
Yes. So if you are in our program, you get to know the research groups from both sides, from Freiburg and from Buenos Aires. So you can already, during your master, you can get in contact with the professors that basically work on those research topics you're interested in. And then you can apply for the PhD. We do not finance the 3 years PhD. That is the professor you apply to will finance. So you will have to actually do the regular process of applying for a PhD position. If you get the PhD position, then we have the money for exchange. So basically, we pay 6 months of stay at the partner university. So if you start in Buenos Aires, you can come to Freiburg. If you start in Freiburg, you can come to Buenos Aires into the partner lab to do 6 months of research training.
Thank you. Now there is a technical question that Dr. Wutz already answered, but let's voice it again. And actually, I think it was for your program about the APS, and let's combine it with the preliminary transcript. So like to all again. If somebody that is in the last semester of his or her bachelor and does not have full transcript, can he or she apply? And is it possible to also show the APS certificate for the ones from India or China later? Let's start with Dr. Woods and then we go in the round.
So yes, in our case, this can all be handed in later. So the final certificate can be handed in later until November in case of admission. And all the other stuff like the English certificate and the APS is needed until the end of September. And so application is possible, as I already mentioned, with around 150 ECTS. This should be already been done at the point of application, and final certificate is not needed.
I will just add, dear applicant, that for APS usually is needed for visa. Therefore, make sure you have it for your visa interview. And I guess you need visa if you need APS, so you need to have it ready for your visa. Professor Pila, do you want to take this one?
Yes, so you can apply. It's only that then for the admission you need to have it. So the admission will be then in September typically. Then you definitely have to document that you have obtained all these ECTS points. But if it's just documented in the application that there is the perspective to acquire these and these points, I mean, in the end we still need to see this 80 for the focus subject and 30 for the interdisciplinary part. If this can be kind of extracted for us from the application that this will be the case by the time of admission, then it's no problem.
Professor Brunner, the same question to you. And also, is the application through Freiburg or Buenos Aires?
Yes, so the same with us. At the time of the application, you don't necessarily need the final certificate, but you need it at the time of admission, which is in February latest because it starts in March. The application is through Buenos Aires. So basically, because that's where you start, so you apply online. All the documents will then end up in Buenos Aires and will also be seen by us in Freiburg. We decide, and then all the documents for the admission need to be sent to Buenos Aires. So you don't have to do it again then when you come to Freiburg. And importantly, at the moment of admission, you will be registered at both universities right from the beginning. So in Freiburg, also while you're studying in Buenos Aires. So that's a requirement for the double degree.
Thank you. A question for Nanoscience program. So Osnabrück University. The question is, hello. Could you also talk a little more about what kind of job roles, names of few companies, industries, etc., that alumni work at after the nanoscience course?
I mean, it's a relatively new program, so I'd say most of the people who study are still working typically on their PhD now, because we started in 2018. But I would say, I mean, from what I expect, or in general what is kind of happening here. For example, we have people going into to BioNTech, because this is exactly kind of the people they need in this kind of companies. So pharmaceutical companies, I would say in general. I mean, it's a relatively broad spectrum. I should mention. I mean, I guess that most people here are more coming from the life science, and then I see pharmaceutical companies as the target. But definitely the nanoscience itself also is essentially a program that you can start as a physicist, as a chemist, and then these topics like nanophotonics and nanoelectronics, these things, of course, are then a totally different kind of companies that are taking them. But I would say it's a research-oriented program, so you typically will follow up with doing your PhD and then do research in companies or in an academic framework.
Mhm. Thank you. Question for all. Hello, it seems that there is no requirement for a recommendation letter mentioned in the speeches before, or maybe I missed it. Is it general to ask one for applying to master degree in German university? Let's say, do you need, and if you don't need, but somebody additionally still sends a recommendation letter, will it harm? Dr. Woods.
So we don't ask for recommendation letters, and no, it does not harm, but we do
Nobody
not
will
take
read it
them into
because,
closer
yeah,
account. No.
yeah. Professor Pila.
Yeah, same for us. It doesn't harm, but I'm not even sure whether people would look at it.
Mm-hmm. And Professor Borner?
The same here. It's not even allowed by our university to select based on recommendation letters for a master. PhDs is something else, but master it's not required. But as the other said, it doesn't harm.
Professor Borner, another question for you. How many years of work experience we need to apply in Freiburg? Will internship count as work experience?
Yes, that also counts for work experience. You just need to basically work either on your field where you did the bachelor or on another field for a minimum of 1 year so that you get some practical work experience.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. And the last question for you is that how many students do you accept and what's the main thing
We
that you
have
look at?
we have no limit, but it's usually every year it's between 18 and 20, 23, 25. There will be not more because the problem is often that, especially because you start in Buenos Aires, it's limited by the people who actually get visas. So in the end, even there are sometimes more that would like to come, they will not get a visa. Because for the visa, you need either be financially self-sustained or you get a stipend. And for those who don't get a stipend and don't have the money, they cannot get a visa. The same is when you come to Germany, of course. You need a blocked account. And if you don't have that or you don't have a stipend, it's very difficult to get a visa.
Mm-hmm. I can only agree. All right. There is one question. May I ask how many people applied last year and got the ones that got study place? Dr. Wood said it was around 700 or so, and then 10% got the interview, and then I lost
In
the
the
number.
end, maximum of 25 people. But for us, it's the same
Maximum
as
of
Professor Borner also mentioned. In the end, we ask 25 people to come, but it's more about 21. So because of visa issues.
Mm-hmm. Professor Pila, the same question to you.
So we had around 200 applications or yeah, something like this. And I think we admitted, or let's say we allowed something like, or passed something like, I don't know, 70, and then about 25 to 30 started.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. Professor Borna mentioned that there are no limits.
No.
And I guess
So we have usually about 150 applications. We have interviews for those which are a little bit critical, where we're not sure whether they show really a lab experience and their English. So with some of them, we conduct interviews, but in the end, then there will be around 20 that will start.
So
Great.
we also don't have official limits. So whoever passes our criteria, we just need to admit.
Great. Thank you very much to all of you, dear attendees. I only see thank yous right now in Q&A. Dear Saturday, I saw your question about accounting. I think I already answered it. You need to have degree in life science, natural sciences to qualify to apply, but you can apply for